Gemini, welcome to your monthly horoscope for August 2023. My name is Adina. I am an intuitive astrologer. If you align with my energy and you enjoy my content, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and hit the post notification bell so that you can get notified every time I upload a new horoscope. This month, Gemini, there is a lot of energy around third house topics, which third house topics represents your community, your neighbors, siblings, cousins, vehicles, even communication, reading, speaking, writing, all those fun things. And so Venus is currently retrograde in Leo, which is in that third house, which can really have you kind of rethinking. I mean, this is a time where you may be going through some things with a vehicle, but this can also be a time where you are reevaluating or redirecting your creative energy in some way. If you do any type of creative work with speaking, reading, or writing, this is a time where you are really focused on that, where you are reevaluating, possibly taking a new direction with your creative pursuits. Now, I want you to think back to June, because back in June, when we had Venus enter Leo, Venus formed a square to Jupiter and to Uranus. She's going to form another square to Jupiter and Uranus, August 9th to Uranus and August 22nd to Jupiter. At Venus square Uranus is August 9th at 22 degrees, and Venus square Jupiter is August 22nd at 15 degrees. Now, this time Venus is retrograde, so whatever was showing up back then in June, there can be a revisiting of those themes and topics, but in a different way, where you're having to kind of reflect, sit with the energy, kind of refocus, reprogram. This can even have to do with now, because Jupiter and Uranus is in your 12th house, which can represent the subconscious. This can also represent isolation, where whatever is maybe being brought up at this time regarding these third house topics, you're having to bring an end to it, because the 12th house can also represent ending. So this can even be when you're saying goodbye to a car, or there's a lease finalizing, or you're finally paying off a car, or something along those lines. Now, again, this can show up in many different forms. And so when I do these horoscopes, I also tap into my intuition. So it may feel like I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but I have to trust what's coming to me, and it will align with somebody out there, but not everybody. So always trust what is in alignment with you. And so, again, this can have to do with a vehicle. This can also have to do with a creative pursuit, and possibly having to bring something to a close or an end, maybe having this realization that you can't go any further. And this can also feel very unexpected, because it has that Uranus element to it. Uranus energy can feel sometimes chaotic, sometimes very sudden. Now, because of the Jupiter element, and Jupiter rules your 7th house of relationships, this may also mean that you have there may be something coming up with your relationships that may be coming to an end, whether it is a close personal relationship, a partnership, a business partnership. But it does show here that there is something possibly coming in where you're having to end a relationship. But because it is Jupiter, it does show that even if you have to take that route, or you have to end a relationship, it's not going to be this kind of most challenging. There's not going to be this like super challenging energy around it, where, of course, when we go through breakups, or we even end toxic relationships, this can be a period of time where we are grieving in some sense. So yes, you can absolutely kind of go through something like that. But with the Jupiter energy, it's almost like there's like a hidden gift within closing that part of your life out, in a sense. And so it's quite interesting. And this is even coming to me intuitively, where whatever is showing up for you, whether it is relationships or whatever this kind of Venus journey looks like for you, this Jupiter element is kind of showing you that there is a hidden gift within whatever this challenges or obstacle with your creative pursuits or anything you're going through with your vehicle or even community and neighbors or relationships, however it looks like for you. And again, this can even show up as siblings or cousins. You can have something popping up, and I'm sure some of you are having something come up with siblings or cousins or family, and it can be very unexpected. It can feel challenging, and maybe you're having to develop those tough boundaries and say, these are my standards, these are my boundaries, and I'm no longer going to tolerate this. And that is okay. And we're kind of moving through a period of time with this Venus retrograde energy where we are establishing those healthy boundaries, where we are really kind of recognizing where we have not been filling ourselves up, where we have been selling ourselves short, giving too much of ourselves away, whether it is to other people, whether it is to a job, a boss, friendships, whatever the case is, even children. That can be a thing. Sometimes we have these beliefs and programs around, children come first, and in a sense they do. But if you are not taking care of yourself, what type of parent can you be? You always have to really be filling your own cup up. And this is something I had to learn the hard way as well. I've gone through this journey and always continue to go. We are always healing. We are always on a journey. I think if we ever think we've kind of reached the end of our healing journey or know everything, I think we're selling ourselves short, because I think there's always room for personal growth. Now, the middle of August, August 15th, Venus is going to form a beautiful trine to Chiron. And at this point, we have Venus and Chiron retrograde. I have talked a lot about this in my previous videos, where this is really bringing in beautiful supportive energy for healing, where whatever you are moving through individually and however this is showing up for you, this Chiron energy is really bringing in this beautiful healing element where you can really get to the bottom on a soul level. And again, this kind of coincides with the whole figuring out the parts of you that you've been working with unconsciously, or really kind of not filling your own cup up, where you're giving too much of yourself away. This can add to that energy where you're bringing in, there's this beautiful supportive energy coming in to help you kind of discover that and move through that and work through that and heal, so that you can, step into this journey of amazing personal growth. Now, on August 10th, we are going to have Mercury in Virgo form a trine to Jupiter. And Mercury is your chart ruler, but also in your fourth house of home, family, property. And so that's also those themes and topics are also going to be pretty prevalent this month. Home, family, property, possibly parents, or even childhood, like really reflecting back. And that is really what a lot of this energy can be because of Jupiter in the 12th house. This can be where you are having this beautiful support coming in, where if you are moving through some type of childhood trauma, you're able to there's this energy coming in to help support you along your healing journey. This can be some type of information coming in, some type of communication from a friend, or some type of personal connection that really sends you on this new path of healing, or brings something to your awareness. That it's these synchronistic events, right? Sometimes once we're on our path, we meet the right people, we get in front of the right, situation or opportunity, and it kind of just happens. It's like one thing leads to another. That is what this energy can really be like and feel like. Now, like I said, there is a lot of energy around home and family and property. So I'm sure for some of you as well, you may be moving through some type of not conflict, but hurdle or situation around selling a home or real estate property. So like something along those lines. And this is where you can have beautiful energy coming in to help support that, because we also have Mars in Virgo, and Mars is also eventually going to form a trine to Uranus and Jupiter. And that is why I kind of even labeled this month and my other video that I posted about August as sudden sudden action, because and it based on information, so it's almost like receiving information on something and you're wanting to take action right away. And so we really do want to watch for that, because your chart ruler Mercury is going to station retrograde August 23rd and remain retrograde until September 15th. So it is almost like whatever you take action on, you may possibly need to go back or reflect or redirect something along those lines. So, again, just something to be mindful of, because at the end of August, you are going to have Mercury retrograde in your fourth house. And this is a time where you don't want to be making decisions. You kind of just want to reflect, sit with the energy, and if you can, hold off on making any important decisions. This is also a time where you can be reprogramming your mind and also receiving a lot of intuitive downloads, especially if you are a natal Mercury retrograde person. I know for me, I'm a natal Mercury retrograde person in the 12th house. And I think it's because it's in the 12th house and all of that, but I receive amazing, like my creativity and intuitive downloads heighten during Mercury retrograde. So if you actually align with that, comment below if you experience the same thing. I'd be interested to hear about that and find out. Now, August 27th, I'm kind of hopping all over the place here, but August 27th, we are going to have the Sun oppose Saturn. And so the Sun is going to enter Virgo and in your fourth house and oppose Saturn in your 10th. So there's something here between home and family and work, career, public reputation, that there is a hold to something, a stop or a block, even an energetic block. There's something here where the universe is saying, hold on. Possibly you've wanted to move in a certain direction. You've had a certain outcome in mind, and the universe is basically saying, no, it may still happen, but it's not going to happen how you thought or how you expected it to happen. And it possibly may not even be the outcome that you expected. So definitely an energy that you want to be mindful of. And that is around August 27th. Now, August 17th, we have Mars forming a trine to Uranus. And this is between your fourth and 12th house again. And so there is a lot of this energy around. Now, the thing with Mars, so this can actually have to do with friendships, social groups, social connections, and something just coming in that, well, again, this is kind of the energy that I talked about with that wanting to take sudden action based on information coming in. And this can have to do with friendships, social groups, social connections. So you may be possibly hearing something from a friend. This could also have to do with your creativity, children, what you are passionate about, your hobbies, what really lights you up. And so that can be quite interesting as well. This is where you can really have amazing creative energy coming in. So I suggest journaling throughout this month, because this is when you can be having really quick intuitive downloads, especially because of the Mercury and Uranus energy. This is where, and I know for me, like while I'm driving, I'm always receiving intuitive downloads. And I usually will use my phone for voice notes, because you can't really unless you can pull over and write them down. But with Uranus, they're coming in so quick. And I even find that a lot of times when you even try to think back to what they were, you can't remember. It's like these really like spontaneous, sudden intuitive downloads and intuitive messages. And Uranus is known as the Great Awakener. So these are usually the ones that are, coming in to help provide guidance for your journey, for your direction, your mission, your purpose. These are the ones you really want to keep track of. And if you're journaling and you write them down, you can then reflect back, and it really does help you use that on your journey. I have journals for the moons, the new moon, the full moon. I always document the moons down. I journal what I'm moving through emotionally, spiritually, physically. even intuitively. And I'm always able to kind of reflect back, and it's quite interesting, especially because if you watch my moon videos, you understand that I always say the full moon is a culmination point of whatever you really were getting started at the time of the new moon in that same sign. When you journal, you really become aware of that and realize, oh wow, yeah, like really every 6 months you're going through this certain kind of cycle and milestone. It's quite interesting. Now, around August 12th and 13th, we are going to have the Sun form a conjunction to Venus retrograde. And that is when you can really experience some type of wisdom or insight coming in to help guide you through this kind of Venus energy that you're moving through when it has to do with, whatever is showing up for you around your community, your neighbors, your siblings, your cousins, your creativity, your creative projects, communicating, reading, speaking, writing, kind of whatever this Venus energy is bringing for you, this Venus retrograde. This is where you can have light coming in to help guide you through whatever it is that you are moving through. So, overall, Gemini, there's a lot of energy here around home, family, property, also siblings, cousins, relationships. And I really feel like, and you know what, always take what is in alignment, because again, this can show up in many forms, and some are going to be aligned with it, some are not. And so just trust, develop that kind of intuitive knowing, and you can trust what kind of is in alignment with you. And so I really hope that you find this monthly horoscope beneficial. I would love for you to comment in the comments below if you have any questions at all. And thank you so much for joining me, and I will connect with you in the next one.